Something like. Approximately or similar to. The device weighs something like 2 kilograms. Something like. Similar to or approximately. The chemical has a structure something like benzene. Something of a STH. Used to describe a person or thing in a way which is partly true but not completely. He was something of a pioneer in microfluidics research. Soothing. Making you feel calm or in less pain. The background music was soothing for stressed lab participants. Sorrow, a noun. When someone feels very sad. The team express sorrow at the loss of valuable data. Spade, noun. A tool with a long handle and a flat, metal part at one end used for digging. The archaeologist used a spade to carefully excavate the soil layers. Spare a thought for SB. To think about someone who is in a bad situation. Spare a thought for the lab assistant who had to work overnight. Spare a thought for SBE phrase. To think about someone who is in a bad situation. Spare a thought for the endangered species affected by climate change. Spare no effort, expense, etc. To use a lot of effort or expense, etc. to do something. The research team spared no effort to ensure the accuracy of the measurements. Spark, fire, noun. A very small, bright piece of burning material. The spark from the Bunsen burner ignited the flammable substance. Spark, start, noun. A small idea or event which causes something bigger to start. Her proposal sparked a new research initiative in nanotechnology. Spark, verb. To cause an argument, fight, etc. to start happening. The disagreement over authorship sparked a heated debate among the scientists. Sparsely. With small amounts and scattered over a large area. The data points were sparsely distributed across the graph. Speak volumes, idiom. If something speaks volumes, it makes an opinion, characteristic or situation very clear without the use of words. The high turnout at the conference speaks volumes about the importance of the study. Speak volumes, idiom. If something speaks volumes, it makes an opinion, characteristic or situation very clear without the use of words. The high turnout of participants speaks volumes about public interest in conservation. Speak your mind. To say exactly what you think. The expert spoke her mind during the debate. Speak your mind. To say exactly what you think without worrying if it will upset anyone. The principal investigator spoke her mind during the ethics committee meeting. Speaks for itself. If something speaks for itself, it is clear and needs no further explanation. The results of the experiment speak for themselves, no further testing was required. Specimen, noun. An animal, plant, etc. used as an example of its type, especially for scientific study. The biologist collected a specimen of the rare plant for further analysis. Spectrum, colors, noun. The set of colors into which light can be separated. The prism split the white light into a full spectrum of colors. Speculate, verb. To guess possible answers to a question when you do not have enough information to be certain. The teen speculated about the cause of the unexpected reaction. Spending, noun. The money which is used for a particular purpose, especially by a government or organization. Government spending on scientific research increased last year. Spice, excitement, noun. Something that makes something else more exciting. The surprise discovery added spice to the otherwise routine experiment. Spin, SB, around. If you spin around, or someone spins you around, your body turns quickly to face the opposite direction. The instructor spun the student around during the orientation exercise. Spiritually. In a way that relates to deep feelings and beliefs, especially religious beliefs. The meditation retreat was designed to develop participants spiritually. Spit, verb. To force out the liquid in your mouth. The scientist spat the tasting solution into the sink after testing. Spite, feeling, noun. A feeling of anger toward someone which makes you want to hurt or upset them. Out of spite, the student withheld important data from the group. Splash, drop of liquid, noun. A drop of liquid which has fallen on something, or the mark made by it. A splash of water landed on the notebook during the experiment. Splash out. To spend a lot of money on something which you want but do not need. The lab director splashed out on a state-of-the-art microscope. Splendor, noun. When something is extremely beautiful or luxurious. The laboratory's new design was admired for its splendor and functionality. Split, come apart, verb. If something splits or if you split it, it comes apart so that there is a long, thin hole in it. The test tube split when exposed to extreme cold. Split, disagree, verb. If a group of people splits, or something splits them, they disagree and form smaller groups. The committee split over the allocation of research funding. Spotless. Completely clean. The laboratory was spotless after the end-of-week cleaning. Spotlight, noun. A strong light which can be pointed in different directions. The stage spotlight illuminated the presenter during the science demonstration. Spouse, a noun. Your husband or wife. Each participant had to indicate whether their spouse would be joining the workshop. Spread, surface, verb. To move a soft substance across a surface so that it covers it. The technician spread the agar evenly across the petri dish. Spread, time, a verb. To arrange for something to happen over a period of time and not at once. The conference sessions were spread over 3 days. Spring back, forward, out, etc. To jump or move somewhere suddenly. The compressed spring sprang back when released. Spring from STH. To come from or be the result of something. Many of his ideas spring from previous research in molecular biology. Spring to mind. To be thought of immediately. Several hypotheses sprang to mind. Spring to mind. If a word or idea springs to mind, you suddenly think of it. When asked about renewable energy, solar panels immediately sprang to mind. Spring up. To appear suddenly. New startups in biotech spring up each year. Sprinkle, verb. To gently drop small pieces of something over a surface. The researcher sprinkled seeds evenly across the soil sample. Spur, verb. To encourage someone to do something or something to happen. The award spurred the team to complete their project ahead of schedule. Spy on SB. To secretly watch someone. The security camera spied on the lab technician to prevent theft. Squad, noun. A sports team. The university cricket squad won the intercampus tournament. Squander, verb. To waste time, money, etc. He squandered the research grant on unnecessary equipment. Squeak, the verb. To make a short, high sound. The lab mouse squeaked when handled gently. Squeaky, sound. Making short, high sounds. The squeaky hinge in the lab door annoyed the staff. Squeeze SB, STH in or squeeze in SB, STH. To manage to do something or see someone in a short period of time or when you are very busy. The professor squeezed in a meeting with the students between lectures. Stable, a noun. A building where horses are kept. The research station included a stable for the horses used in experiments. Stage a concert, show, etc., verb. To organize and produce a performance of music or a play, etc. The university staged a concert to fundraise for science scholarships. Stagger, verb. To walk as if you might fall. The exhausted field worker staggered after carrying heavy equipment. Stain, damage, verb. To permanently spoil something such as someone's reputation. The false accusation stained the scientist's professional reputation. Stain, mark, verb. To leave a dirty mark on something which is difficult to remove, or to become dirty in this way. The chemical spilled and stained the laboratory countertop. Stamp, foot, verb. To put your foot down on the ground hard and quickly, often to show anger. The student stamped their foot during the heated debate. Stance, a noun. An opinion or belief about something, especially if you say it in public. Her stance on animal testing influenced the university's policy. Stand, election, verb. To compete in an election for an official position. The professor stood in the academic council election. Stand, furniture, noun. A piece of furniture for holding things. The microscope was placed on a sturdy stand in the lab. Stand, state, verb. To be in a particular state or situation. The reaction stands at equilibrium after 1 hour. Stand a chance. To have a chance of success or of achieving something. The junior researcher stood a chance of winning the award with her groundbreaking work. Stand in. To do something that someone else was going to do because they cannot be there. She stood in for the absent lecturer during the seminar. Stand to gain, lose STH. To be in a situation where you can lose money or an advantage. The university stands to gain recognition from this innovative study. Stand trial. If someone stands trial, they appear in a law court where people decide if they're guilty of a crime. The researcher stood trial for violating safety regulations. Stand trial, a noun. If someone stands trial, they appear in a law court where people decide if they're guilty of a crime. The chemist stood trial for allegedly falsifying research data. Stand your ground, idiom. To refuse to change your opinion or move your position despite attempts to make you. She stood her ground on maintaining ethical standards despite pressure from colleagues. Stand your ground, idiom. To refuse to change your opinion or move your position despite attempts to make you. The scientist stood her ground during the peer review discussion. Standard, behavior, noun. A level of behavior, especially a level that is acceptable. The lab maintains high standards of professional behavior. Standpoint, noun. A particular way of thinking about a situation or problem. From a chemical standpoint, the solution is stable at room temperature. Stardom, noun. When someone is very famous for acting, singing, etc. The young scientist achieved stardom after publishing the pioneering study. Start, advantage, noun. An advantage that you have over someone else when you begin something. Having prior knowledge of the software gave her a start over her peers. Starvation, noun. The state of having no food for a long period. Prolonged starvation affects cognitive and physical performance in studies. Statement, money, noun. A piece of paper that shows how much money you have put into your bank account and how much you have taken out. He reviewed his bank statement before purchasing new laboratory equipment. Stay out of STH. To not become involved in an argument or discussion. The student stayed out of the heated debate on ethics. Stay put, verb. To continue to be in the same place. The sample must stay put for 24 hours before testing. Steady job work. A job that is likely to continue for a long time and pay you regular money. She was grateful for a steady job in the research lab. Steer clear of SBUSTH. To avoid someone or something because they are unpleasant or dangerous. The students were advised to steer clear of the hazardous chemicals. Step down. To leave an important job. The head researcher stepped down after 20 years in the laboratory. Stereotypical. Having the qualities that you would expect a particular kind of person to have. The stereotypical image of a scientist with messy hair is not always accurate. Stern. Very serious and without any humor. The lab manager gave a stern warning about safety procedures. Stick by SB. To continue to support someone when they are having problems. She stuck by her colleague during the funding controversy. Stick up for SBSTH. To support someone or something when they are being criticized. The student stuck up for her teammate during the ethics discussion. Stiff, formal. Behaving in a way that is formal and not relaxed. The stiff protocol required precise adherence to every step. Stiff, severe. Very severe or difficult. The experiment faced stiff competition from other teams for funding. Stiff drink whiskey or vodka, etc. A strong alcoholic drink. Still, watered air. Still water or air does not have waves or wind. The surface of the solution remains still before stirring. Stimulus, noun. Something that makes something else happen, grow, or develop more. Light acts as a stimulus for plant growth in phototropism studies. Stir, feel, verb. To make someone feel a strong emotion. The documentary stirred deep emotions among the audience. Stir, move, verb. To move slightly or make someone move slightly. The liquid stirred in the beaker as the scientist tilted it. Stir up STH or stir STH up. To cause arguments or bad feeling between people, usually on purpose. The announcement stirred up tension between the collaborating labs. Stitch, thread, noun. A short line of thread that is sewn through a piece of material. The lab coat needed a stitch to repair the torn sleeve. Stitch, wound, a noun. One of the small pieces of thread that is used to sew together a cut. The doctor applied a stitch to close the incision. Stone, seed, noun. The hard seed that is at the center of some fruits. The cherry stone was removed before extraction of its DNA. Stop short of STH doing STH. To almost do something but decide not to do it. The scientist stopped short of publishing unverified results. Stop short of STH doing STH, verb. To almost do something but decide not to do it. She stopped short of publishing the preliminary results without peer review. Store up STH, keep, verb. To keep something and not use it so that it can be used in the future. The laboratory stored up chemical reagents for future experiments. Story, explanation, noun. An explanation of why something happened, which may not be true. The technician gave a story about why the sample was missing, but it seemed unlikely. Strain, injury, noun. An injury to part of your body that is caused by using it too much. She suffered a muscle strain while moving heavy equipment. Strain, money, a verb. To cause too much of something to be used, especially money. The extended field study strained the department's budget. Strand, part of story, noun. One part of a story, situation, idea, etc. The research paper contains several strands of argument about the experiment's results. Strand, thread, noun. A thin piece of hair, thread, rope, etc. A single strand of DNA was visible under the microscope. Stranded, adjective. Unable to leave a place. The interns were stranded at the remote station after the helicopter was delayed. Strap, noun. A narrow piece of material used to fasten two things together or to carry something. The microscope was secured with a strap during transport. Strategically, adverb. In a strategic way. The samples were strategically placed for optimal observation. Straw, tube, noun. A thin plastic or paper tube that you use for drinking through. The students used a straw to carefully transfer the liquid into a test tube. Strength, influence, noun. The power or influence that an organization, country, etc. has. The strength of the research institute lies in its extensive network of collaborators. Strenuous, adjective. Using or needing a lot of effort. Carrying the heavy equipment was a strenuous task for the interns. Stretch a weight into. Etc. verb. To cover a large area. Strict, exact, adjective. Exactly correct. The protocol requires strict adherence to prevent contamination. Strike, effect, verb. If something bad strikes something or someone, it affects them strongly and quickly. The lab was struck by an unexpected power outage. Strike a match. To light a match. Chemical reactions occur when you strike a match. Strike a match, verb. To light a match in order to produce fire. The technician struck a match to ignite the Bunsen burner. Strike gold, oil, etc., verb. To find a supply of gold, oil, etc. in the ground. The archaeologists struck gold when they uncovered ancient artifacts. Strike SB as STH, a verb. If someone or something strikes you as having a particular quality, they seem to have that quality. The researcher struck me as highly meticulous during the lab tour. Striker, football player, noun. A football player whose job is to try to score goals. The striker celebrated after scoring in the university football match. Strive, verb. To try very hard to do or achieve something. The team strove to publish their results in a top-tier journal. Stroke, movement, noun. A movement that you make against something with your hand, a pen, brush, etc. Each stroke of the pipette had to be precise. Strong opposition, support, etc. Noun. A lot of opposition, support, etc. The project faced strong opposition from some committee members. Structural, adjective. Relating to the structure of something. The structural integrity of the test apparatus was crucial for safety. Structure, building, noun. A building or something that has been built. The greenhouse was a structure used for controlled plant experiments. Structure, a verb. To arrange something in an organized way. The data was structured in a clear and logical format for analysis. Structured, adjective. Organized so that the parts relate well to each other. The experiment followed a highly structured protocol. Struggle, try to defeat, prevent, verb. To use a lot of effort to defeat someone or prevent something. The team struggled to maintain sterile conditions in the field lab. Stubbornness, noun. The quality of being stubborn. His stubbornness made it difficult to accept alternative interpretations of the data. Stuff sth in, into, behind, etc. Verb. To push something into a small space, or to fill a container with something, often in a forceful or careless way. He stuffed the samples into the box without labeling them. Stumble, fall, verb. To step badly and almost fall over. The technician stumbled while carrying the heavy microscope. Stumble, pause, verb. To make a mistake, such as pausing or repeating a word, while speaking or performing. During the conference presentation, she stumbled over a technical term. Stumble across, once upon, sth nesby, a verb. To discover something by chance, or to meet someone by chance. She stumbled upon an old research paper while searching the archives. Stunned, adjective. Very surprised and shocked. The research team was stunned by the unexpected results of the experiment. Stupidity, noun. The state of being silly or unwise. It was a moment of sheer stupidity to ignore the safety protocols. Subconsciously, adverb. Without being consciously aware of something. The scientist subconsciously adjusted the microscope settings while observing the specimen. Subject, story, painting, noun. A person who is written about in a book or who is shown in a picture. The subject of the research painting was a genetically modified plant.